Siphinde sikubingelele kwiKha TV2. Wena-ke oqalayo ukungena kuleli khasi, siyacela ukuba ucofe ibhathini usubscribe khona uzohlezi uyithola iy'ndaba njengoba zinjalo. Umongameli we-Operation Dudula uyacacisa ukuthi kungani eSoweto bevale izitolo zabantu bokufika babaqoqisa ukuthi abaphume baphele eSoweto. Kodwa-ke mina angingani kakhulu. Nangu-ke umongameli ezichazela ngokwakhe.
So this um, tragic event happened over the past weekend where the 21-year-old young man was with one of his friends. They went to Izimpahla in Soweto in White City. And they went to go and buy, but obviously they had liquor. I think that's where the whole thing started when the owner of the store said, "You cannot come into my shop with liquor." And they said, "We are not drinking, but we just need to buy and go out." And it all started there, and they were assaulted. But unfortunately, Lusanda was the one who was shot twice at a short range, and he is currently in hospital fighting for his life. He was getting uh, better. He went for an operation on Tuesday, but again today he had some complications, so he has to go back. He has to go back again to the theater, actually, in the early hours of tomorrow. So that's where the whole thing started, and we have been invited by the residents in the surroundings and by the family. When we heard of this call, we also tried and managed to get hold of the family, and that's how we got to a White City. Now, this tells you that even the people of South Africa have given up on our law enforcement, but we obviously do not promote any violence and all that, but we always try to work together with them, but they respond late. I must say that even when the incident happened, they tried getting to the nearest police station, but they couldn't get help. In actual fact, by the time Ulusanda was shot lying on the floor, um, a van from John Foster came to actually escort the perpetrators out of the scene, and they fled out of the scene. Then the Moroka police station police came and they tried to assist, but at that time it was late because the perpetrator had fled, and the only person that was left is apparently the owner of the store, but the person that pulled the trigger had left at that time. So people are do not longer feel safe around our law enforcement agencies. And we as Operation Dudula still feel that they are not doing enough for the communities. We shouldn't even be having guns in those Paza shops if they were raiding those shops. I mean, even harboring them in those yards. If police were doing their job, your departments, like your environmentals, they were visiting these shops, then a lot of incidents would have been avoided. Like just like the other day, just today, one of the child was killed because of buying, of stealing a dragon that cost 10 rand. This is a child. This incident happened this afternoon in Benoni, and I was in court today where a 7-year-old girl was raped by an Ethiopian, and today the Ethiopian was there for a bail application, and fortunately he was not granted bail today. So there are many incidents. They keep occurring on a daily basis, and in Alexander we have also learned that they have been closing spaza shops today because of an incident that also occurred with one of a South African. So it means we are harboring illegal immigrants. We think we are living with people that loves us, but clearly they do not like us, they do not love us, and they can go to such an extent of shooting at us. In the past years, we've been fighting about this, fighting for kids dying of poisoned snakes, but now it's escalating. It's escalating to to shootings. So this tells you that these people need to go out of our township. And township economy belongs to South Africans. Why are they still occupying these spaces? So that's another thing. It's a whole lot of equality that's happening. Aboma Stand, our landlord, they are harboring these people. Immigration Act, Section 42, says it well that you cannot lease or sell a property to an illegal immigrant, but they are currently doing that. It's time for the law enforcement agencies to start enforcing these laws, make sure that they follow all these procedures. And if people need to go to jail, whether you're a South African or whether you're a foreign national, Operation Dudula is not just against illegal immigrants, but we are also against illegality, whether you're a South African or a foreign national. So if you're harboring an illegal immigrant, you should be treated as such. You should go serve your term in jail or be given that sentence, whether it's a fine or up to that 18 months of imprisonment. So if you notice in all our operations, we are with the law enforcement agency because we avoid chaos. We always make sure that when you do operations, it's always in order. There is no looting, there is no violence. And that's what we normally do. We entrust them on that side, but when it comes to a quick response, we honestly do not trust them. But now we are not taking law into our own hands. Remember, when community speak, the community have always asked us to come and assist because now it means that their trust is on Operation Dudula. We have been entrusted with fighting the illegality, especially on the immigration side. So that's why we have been invited, and we are going to respond because we have always said that we are going to be a movement that responds to the cries of people. And it cannot be correct that we are living with such people in our communities that keep killing us. You know, these people are killing us, whether it's poison or whether it's shooting. A child in Davidson has been beaten up with a hammer till death. What kind of people are they? Who is an asylum seeker that claims to be seeking for asylum but carrying a firearm? If you're a foreign national, you're not even supposed to be carrying a firearm in a foreign country. This means we are undermined as South Africans, and it cannot continue like this. Our government needs to do something. It's been 4 years since Operation Dudula has been complaining about the illegality of all the migrants that are happening here in this country. But our government is still not doing anything about it. They are too slow to respond whilst we keep burying our children. It cannot continue like this. It needs to come to a stop. That cannot be Operation Dudula. I can confirm that these are people who claim to be members of Operation Dudula, and we have been investigating such matters. And I don't want to be name dropping here, but that's the same reason why we even had to release one of the people that were part of leadership in Operation Dudula, because we also found out that he has a security company that is guarding the Ethiopians. And he was brave and he spoke about it, that they are legal here in this country, but we had to let him go because we cannot be working against people whilst you calling yourself as a leader, making sure that you protect them. So we had to let him go. I think it's about 2.5 years, or if not 3 years ago. He was the first person that we had to release in Operation Dudula because of such behavior. And if people know of any such criminality, they need to come forward and let us know. They will stay as anonymous, but we will deal with them. We will make sure that they go to jail for such, because we cannot be working, because Operation Dudula wants to make sure that there is law and order in this country. But if you're going to be working against us and keep collecting protection fees, then it means you're a criminal and you need to be treated as such. In White City, I can confirm that about 21 shops, because we operated there from Monday till Wednesday. So we're going back again as of tomorrow. So we're going to be stationed at White City until all shops are closed. But we also plead with our law enforcers that even if we are not around, can they still continue to monitor the situation, go around the stores, because even if we don't go to the stores, we don't find rotten food. The place where these stores are, I mean, the rezoning, all of these shops where they are situated, those places are not meant for this. The title deeds are still saying that it's a residential area, but they're still operating businesses. You know, there are big supermarkets We closed one other supermarket in is it Mfulo or White City? I can't remember. But it was a big supermarket situated inside the yard. So you can imagine all of the issues that we're having, electricity and all that. I mean, our grid is not even, the capacity is not enough for all of these fridges and all that. It's not meant to, it's not a place where it's meant for business, but rather residential area. So this thing is affecting a whole lot of things. It's not just about being foreign national and killing our children, but it's also affecting a whole lot of things. But we are saying that the township economy needs to come back to the people of South Africa because they have taken each and every corner in South Africa, but they are also becoming too dangerous to our community members. And if our communities cannot help themselves, we are there. These people are not even paying tax. They are just shipping this money to their countries. And we would have also loved for SARS to come over and come and also check these things because they don't even have books. All they do is that there's somebody that will come at night and collect the cash and take it elsewhere. And you want to operate, then there's an amount of a 5 million that you need to invest in. They don't do that. Why do we allow foreign nationals to do as they please in our country? Then we will be labeled as xenophobic. If it happens in UK, it happens everywhere else. They're not labeled as xenophobic, but when it happens here in South Africa, then we are xenophobic. It needs to come to an end. As people of South Africa, we are the only people that can save this country. No one else. No person from Mozambique, no person from Zimbabwe can save us in the current situation that we are facing in South Africa. But us as South African can save ourselves. Today we were in deep slough, and you can tell that these foreigners are willing to die for this country. They are not willing to go back home. So we are asking for intervention from our law enforcement agencies. We had also marched to the Minister of Defense, I think a year ago. We still have not received any feedback because we have also asked the president of this country to declare this country as a state of emergency, especially with the immigration, because it is a crisis. It's not just people of Soweto who are complaining about illegal immigrants. It's all over. If we're looking at our social media responses, everywhere people are asking for Operation Dudula. Please come and help us. Please come and help us. We are tired of these people. It's employment. They all over our restaurants. They have occupied these jobs. It cannot be correct that we're going to be overruled by foreign nationals in our country. We need to take charge. If they're here legally, then we don't have a problem, but it depends why they are here. If they want to do business, they need to have proper visas. If they're here to work, they need to be working in scarce skills job, but not just any job that we have here in South Africa.